بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. Now we're moving on to اسم الفاعل. I forgot to change this. اسم الفاعل. Moving on to the اسم الفاعل. So we've covered المقدمة, اسم الفاعل, مصدر ميمي, اسم المرأة, اسم الهيئة, and some rules regarding مكان and زمان. You are here. اسم الفاعل. Okay. So if you recap from the first lesson or the second lesson, when he discussed ism and fi'l. So the main thing he discussed there was, the main point was that ism shows thubut. It has a thubut meaning inside. And a fi'l has a huduth element or a tajaddud element. It has either continuous aspect or it's just simple. It has no complex aspect to it. Okay? Now what he's saying is that if you look at it here, so let's say here we have a from here to here. Okay? We have here huduth and tajaddud at the top. And then we have thubut here at the bottom. Correct? This is a spectrum. It's not. So what he's saying that if fi'l will come here. Correct? Okay. الصفة المشبهة باسم الفاعل. صفة المشبهة باسم الفاعل will come here. And اسم الفاعل will come here. Because not all thubut are created equally. Okay? Yes? Some are more equal than others, i.e. some are more thubut than others. That's what he's saying here. That the asma, the nouns, so we look at it here, this is nouns. So ism and fi'l. So fi'l is towards tajaddud and huduth. And ism is towards thubut. So all isms show thubut. But all thubut are not equal. So the thubut in a sifat al-mushabbaha is more than the thubut within an ism al-fa'il. Correct? And he'll give you examples to show this. Okay? That's the main point he's proving. Okay? Yes? Okay? And the simple way I can understand this is, look at this here. We have the word da'iqun and the word dayyiq in the Quran. Now when the word da'iq, so that means that the word da'iq and dayyiq both are sighas, used in the Quran. When the word so which has more thubut, da'iq or dayyiq? Dayyiq will have more thubut. Because why? Dayyiq is a sifatun mushabbahatun bismil fa'il. Fa'ilun dayyiqun. So fa'ilun is what? Dayiqun. Then becomes dayiqun. Correct? And then you have the fa'il is da'iqun. And the rule is as-sifatul mushabbaha bismil fa'il, the fa'ilun pattern, it has more emphasis, it has more thubut. Therefore, if you look at the two scenarios within the choice of words is amazing. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this verse, He addresses the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and his frustration with the people of Mecca and his frustration regarding their approach towards Nabuwa, Wahi, Allah, etc. Allah says regard to him, وَضَائِكُمْ بِهِ صَدْرُ. We know that your heart is strained. So translation in English is, as far as I know, both are strained. But وَضَائِكُمْ بِهِ صَدْرُ, it has thubut. So it's not that he was just frustrated, a burst of anger, a burst of frustration, and he went away. No, it was a frustration that lasted for a certain period of time. But compare this to when Allah says, وَمَنْ يُرِدْ أَنْ يُضِلَّهُ, who became Surah An'am, whosoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wishes to misguide, يَجْعَلْ صَدْرَهُ ضَيِّقًا حَرَجًا. ضَيِّقًا haraja. So dayiq is more thubut there. So whoever Allah wishes to misguide, his heart becomes constrained. But the constraint that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expressed for the Prophet's heart regarding their disbelievers' behavior towards him, Allah expressed it using da'iq to show the thubut and the longevity, and this issue is not a permanent issue. Some of them will be destroyed and perish, and then eventually وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسِ يَدْخُلُونَ فِي دِينِ اللَّهِ أَفْوَاجًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant you victory and people will enter into the fold of Islam. So that will not be a permanent thing. And from you go Medina Munawwara, you will see people entering Islam slowly. After conquest of Makkah, after Hudaybiyah, you will see, and your heart will become a peace that I've conveyed them. قَدْ بَلَّغْتُ. But regarding kufr, whosoever Allah misguides and misleads, Allah says regarding him that his heart become not da'iq, his heart become dayiq, because his diq, the constraint of his heart, is permanent. Is longer, is more thubut to that than da'iq. Understood? You get it? Yes? What's up? Yeah, okay? Right. Okay. Another example he gives a few examples. And then he says here, like, another example. You have hadir and hadir. So which one is going to be more? So hadir and hadir, somebody to be cautious, wary. So hadir and hadir, which one has more cautiousness built into it? Which sigha has a more cautious? Hadir or hadir? It's going to be hadir. Because hadir is going to be, is a sifat mushabbaha fa'il. So that is more, it shows the meaning of, the meaning is more than, yahdar, ihdar, yahadir. So if you say hadira, or he just had it thubut, thubut, huduth, or yahdarun, it continued to occur. When you say hadir, it shows the thubut meaning. The aspect is more long term. And hadir is even a more long term aspect. Okay? And then he mentions here, okay, one example here, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says here, qawmun amin. So amin is more in depth, or the longevity and the thubut of amin. So amin is really fa'ilun again, amiyun, and then that, you drop the off, becomes amin. So amin, the plural is amun. So kanu qawman amin. So amin has more thubut than ami. And the question is, what is the difference between amin and a'ma? So amin is blind, a'ma is also blind. So what's the difference between amin, which is sifat mushabbaha, and a'ma? So two sighas. So ami is to be blind, ismul fa'il. Then you have two sifat mushabbaha. You have here amin and a'ma. What's the difference between the two of them? That will be discussed inshallah in the sifat mushabbahatun bismil fa'il discussion inshallah. Okay? Yes? So when he says here, so the summary is that the ismul fa'il is to show thubut, and the sifatul mushabba bismil fa'il shows thubut with a higher degree. And these two, both of these are contrary, or in contrast to the fa'il, which shows either huduth or tajaddud. We'll continue here tomorrow inshallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. So moving on, we have started discussing the ismul fa'il, and we discussed a few basics regarding the meaning of the ismul fa'il in terms of its thubut, and the difference of the thubut of ismul fa'il and the thubut of a sifatun mushabbahatun bismil fa'il. The next point he's discussing is the zaman of ismul fa'il. Now before we go into this, I've mentioned this point many times before, but it's very important just to recap it, is that ismul fa'il has three possible meanings. It can be used in three different ways. One way is the ismul fa'il can be, number 1, in a verb, number 2, as a noun, and number 3, as an adjective. Adjective. So for example, as an adjective, al-waladu salih. So this is an adjective. Does adjective have tense? No, it doesn't. So here it doesn't refer to this. Similarly, the ismul fa'il can come in the meaning of a noun, pure noun. There's no tense to it. For example, you can have here huwa al-khaliq. He is the creator. Then you have something like tajir, businessman. A mustafti, the one asking a fatwa. Al-mufti, the one giving a fatwa. Al-talib, the one seeking knowledge. These are pure nouns. So when he says the ismul fa'il can consist of a tense, he means here when the ismul fa'il is used in a verbal meaning, as a verb, okay, then what is the what is it tense it gives then? He's talking this aspect. Okay, so the first thing he says here is al-mudi. So al-mudi is that one tense of the ismul fa'il is the past tense. So he says the example is afillahi shakkun. Is there any doubt in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And then the badal of lafz jalala is fatiris samawati wal ard. The one who created the heavens and the earth. So fatar is to create something min adam, the initiator. So fatiris samawati wal ard, he says here this has the meaning of past tense. Who created? Who created? Somebody argue here, well, is in the meaning of ism and means initiator. It's possible you can argue that way, but he's saying here it's a meaning of past tense, the one who created. So for example, yes? Now the question would be, why not just say afillahi shakkun alladhi fatara samawati wal ard? Why bring the ismul fa'il? So he's mentioned that point from here. The benefit is that the ismul fa'il shows the quality, it shows a stronger link to the quality. So the quality of fatar and the creation, the initiation, by bringing it as an ismul fa'il, it has a stronger link and a stronger association than the fa'il. Okay? That's what he says here. And by having this, it means, so this is the past tense meaning, and by having a past tense ismul fa'il as opposed to a verb, it shows a continuity, a type of thubut, but the thubut was in the past. Okay. Another meaning, he says here, it can come in the meaning of hal. And this is the madhi meaning is not the more common meaning. And even within that there's ikhtilaf, that it can come in the mazi meaning. The scholars have differed regarding that. Regarding the hal and mustaqbal, there's no ikhtilaf. This is a standard meaning. So it can come the hal meaning. For example, he gives a Quran example. فَمَا لَهُمْ عَنِ التَّذْكِرَةِ مُعْرِضِينَ. What is the matter with them? That they are turning away from the tadhkirah, the remembrance. And tadhkirah is taf'ila in the meaning of what? That which leads to. We done that previously. The taf'ila is a masdar which is used for what? Which shows that something leads to something else. Okay? Yes? Can't find it now. It's somewhere here. Done it previously. Yeah, taf'ila, fatabsira, etc. Okay? So, what is the matter with them? That they are mu'arideen, they are turning away from the remembrance. Okay? So this is in the meaning of a hal. This mu'arideen is the ismul fa'il in the meaning of the hal. Present tense, right now. And the third meaning he mentions is istiqbal. This is also very common. He's given many examples here. He's given 3 examples. Okay, he says here, Inni khalikum basharan min teen. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was addressing the angels, he said, I'm going to create a human being from soil. And he says, Inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa. I am going to make a deputy on the earth. Innaka jami'un nasi liyawmin la rayba fi. You are going to gather the people in the day in which there is no doubt. Okay? Correct? And then the question again arises, that why have an ismul fa'il instead of a noun or a verb? And I mentioned before that it is atam. It has the connection, the link is stronger. And we mentioned before, when you use an ismul fa'il, because the difference between ana anjah and ana najih, it shows more surety in the occurrence. So that's one of the reasons you can use the ism al-fa'il as opposed to the verb. It's a surety, tawqeed in its occurrence. Okay? We discussed that when we discussed previously. And the ism and fa'il, we discussed that there. What's the benefit of an ism as opposed to a fa'il? So the third meaning he mentions is istiqbal. Now istiqbal, future, it can be future one-off occurrence, future simple future, or it can be future continuous. So for example, future continuous, he has here istimrar. It happens. Well, no, sorry, this is not future. This is istimrar, present, but present continuous, or present habitual. Present will be continuous or habitual. He says here, for example, Inna Allah faliqul habbi wan nawa. Allah is the one who splits the seed, i.e. causes the seed to split and grow from the earth. So faliqul habbi wan nawa, it continues to happen all the time. It's istimrar, continuity. Okay. Similarly, yukhrij al-hayya min al-mayyit wa mukhrij al-mayyita min al-hayy. So mukhrij ism al-fa'il. So Allah continues to bring forth the mayyit from the hayy. Now again here, similarly you have here faliqul isbah, the one who causes the morning and the dawn to break through the darkness. Now the question is, why is it yukhriju and mukhrij? That's another deeper discussion you can do in tafsir inshallah. Why is ism al-fa'il? Why is it a verb here? Or why is there a noun here? Okay, but the point we're not discussing this here. We're discussing the ism al-fa'il. And the ism al-fa'il, all of these examples shows an istimrar, a continuity in this meaning. Correct? Yes. Another meaning he mentions is that when you can use an ism al-fa'il in a meaning of a sifat mushabbah, a very long-term quality. And this comes a lot in terms of bodily descriptions. When you read the hadith in Shamal of Tirmidhi, where it discusses the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's blessed features, you had, for example, words like this. You have the ism al-fa'il, followed by the thing it's describing. So for example, wasi'ul fam. So wasi'ul fam means he is the one who possesses this quality. And this is also used in, like for example, you say here, wasi'ul maghfirah. So when you have wasi'ul maghfirah, what does it imply? Wasi'ul maghfirah shows that Allah has maghfirah. Allah is the possessor of maghfirah. So basically another way of translating would be what? Dhu maghfiratin wasi'ah. That would be a translation of it. So the ism al-fa'il, wasi'ul maghfirah, kathirul rahmah, or kathirul ramad. You do that in balagha. Or the Prophet ﷺ was da'imus samt, tawilul fikr. So da'imus samt, this ism al-fa'il shows a long-term meaning of the Prophet had samt. Samt means to remain quiet, ponder, and for a long time. He had lots of time where he would just sit quietly and ponder. Okay? So this is bariz al-jabin, jahid al-aynain. These are different descriptions. So the ism al-fa'il can be used to show descriptions as well. Okay? So we have the tenses. It can be madhi, rarely, not so often. Then you can have it as a hal and mustaqbil, which is very common. And it can also show istimrar, a continuity. And here he's saying in the fifth meaning is, it can show dalal al-thubut, that a long-term link. So basically more towards sifat al-mushabbaha. So because the ism al-fa'il, ism al-maf'ul, they come between, well, not between, but more towards sifat al-mushabbaha, but they're slightly away in terms of the longevity of its thubut and its link. Okay? But it can also come when you have it in such structures, wasi'ul maghfirah, da'imus samt, wasi'ul fam, is more towards the sifat al-mushabbaha meaning as opposed to the ism al-fa'il meaning. Understood? Yes, everybody with me? The question is, are these 5 tenses which we have mentioned, are they to do only with the noun meaning or the verbal meaning? If you look at it, the madhi meaning he's mentioned, that is more, it seems to have more of a noun meaning. The one who created the heavens and the earth, one who initiated the heavens and the earth. The hal, mustaqbil and istimrar, Those are verbal meanings. Correct? And the dalala al-thubut, this shows more of an adjective meaning. Because wasi al-fam, you don't do anything of wasi. So this is an adjective meaning. Right? And that's the fifth one. The three in between are for what? The three in between are verbal meanings. And the mudhi, it's more of a noun meaning. Yeah, it's more of a noun meaning. Okay? Understood? Yes, the question is, in this last meaning, ad-dalala al-thubut, does it have to be ism al-fa'il? No, the dalala al-thubut can also come for sifat mushabbahatun bi ism al-fa'il, but you have to remember that ism al-fa'il intrinsically has this meaning. This is not a meaning you have to mention separately for ism al-fa'il, for sifat mushabbaha bi ism al-fa'il. The sifat mushabbaha bi ism al-fa'il always shows thubut. So shadid will always have the meaning of thubut inside of it. Because the sifat mushabbaha bi ism al-fa'il does not have a verbal meaning ever. Its primary meaning is this fifth meaning. Do you understand? Yes, it can be. Okay. The last point, he's got a few more points. The last one point he's mentioning here it's not in the Quran, as far as I'm aware of, and is that you can have an ism al-fa'il just like we had the ism al-fa'il. Sorry, we had the zarf. So ism al-zarf is usually meant to show where the action took place, but then we go against the rule sometimes, and we have scenarios and places where it doesn't show the place of the action, but the place of the noun, like ma'sada and masba'a. Similarly, the ism al-fa'il's primary meaning is to show the one who does the verb. But you can also make the ism al-fa'il from a noun. And that will show the person who carries out or deals with the item. So for example, he gives a few examples. So from the word nabl. Nabl is arrows I think. So nabil, the one who deals with, okay? Person who has spears, ramih. The person who has saif, saif. Person who has turs, shield, taris. Correct? An army that is armed is a salih. They have weaponry. So you can form the ism al-fa'il from a noun. Okay? Has it got tamir? Yeah, tamir. Tamir means what? The one who deals with dates. Okay? Correct? This is also one meaning, but it's not something in the Quran, but it is something you keep note. Okay? Right. Next point he mentions is quite interesting. He says here that the fa'il or the muf'il, some of these fa'il and some of these muf'il are makhsus bin nisa. There are certain qualities which are only found in women. For example, ha'if and murdi'. Ha'if and murdi'. To one who is to menstruate and to breastfeed. Taliq, to be given talaq. Because in the Arab culture, the way the talaq occurs on the woman. So the man is not divorced, the man has divorced the woman. So the man is not ever taliq, the woman doesn't give the talaq to the man. So the taliq. So ha'if, taliq and murdi', these are sifat which are specific to women, to females. They don't occur with males. Now what he's saying here is that they can be used in two ways, these adjectives. They can be used with a ta marbuta and without a ta marbuta. And both meanings, both uses of the word will have different meanings. So for example, so ha'id is the one who's menstruating and tahir is the one who's not menstruating, normal days. So what he's saying here, you can have imra'atun tahir and imra'atun tahira. Now tahir and tahira are both ismul fa'il, but they have different connotations. The tahir would mean what? Min al-hayd. She's not in a menstruating period, she's in a normal period. And tahira would mean not to do with the hayd and the menstruation, just pure, i.e. from the uyub. So one ismul fa'il can have two meanings, and the what's the mudhakkar form, but the form without ta'ul marbuta will have a different meaning to the form with ta'ul marbuta. Similarly, you can have the word hamil and hamila. So hamil literally means to lift a burden. And when a woman is pregnant, she is lifting the child. So now we can use the word hamil for both, lifting a physical burden, well, both are physical, but lifting a burden on the back, like a load. And one is for lifting a child. So if it's hamil, then it means min al-habl, pregnancy. And hamila is she's lifting something on her back or in her hands or something. Correct? Qa'id is a lady who's been through menopause. She no longer has menstruation cycles. So qa'id, imra'atun qa'id, she's qa'adat anil mahid. And qa'ida is she's sitting, like standing, sitting. So when you have those adjectives which are makhsus bin nisa, and you get example here, ha'iz, tariq, murdi, tahir, hamil, and qa'id. So these adjectives can be used two ways. If they have ta marbuta, they have more of the original meaning, the linguistic meaning. And if they have the without the ta marbuta, then it has more of the speciality meaning. Okay? Like tahir, tatahira, ta marbuta would mean a normal, clean meaning. And tahir is more the makhsus meaning bin nisa. Hamil, makhsus bin nisa. Qa'id, makhsus bin nisa. Correct? But obviously, that wouldn't apply to ha'id, tariq, and murdi, because so he says there's also another reason for this. He says here, sometimes having ta and not having ta is for another reason. One reason is, so for example, previously, we could say, okay, hamil is a lady who's pregnant and hamila is a lady who's lifting something. Yes? But like, murdi only has one meaning, and that meaning is always makhsus bin nisa. Do you get it? So when you say, let's say we have this word, hamil. A woman is hamil, and we say here, question mark. Ta or no ta, we say that ta would differentiate the meaning. Would it mean lifting a burden, or is it she's pregnant? But when you have murdi', it's only one meaning. So what's the fine of the ta then? Because murdi' is only one meaning. Hamil has two meanings. Qa'id has two meanings. Qa'id, qa'ida. So there you have a thing. What meaning is implied? But in murdi', it just means to suckle and to breastfeed. So what is the difference here? So what he's saying here is that the ta marbuta will show you a particular meaning. What he's saying here, I should have highlighted it. It says here, listen. إذا كان بغير التاء فهو للنسب كهاء بمعنى ذات حيث وبالتاء على إرادة الفعل. He's explaining here. He says, when you use it without ta, it means بالقوة. Remember بالقوة from here نحو مبني بالقوة مبني بالفعل. بالقوة means potentially. So امرأة حائض. So every woman is حائض. Well, before menopause, from puberty to menopause is what? Ha'id, ay bil-quwa. And a ha'idha is that one who's actually at that moment in menstruation. Similarly, a woman who is breastfeeding, 1 year, 9 months, however long she decides to breastfeed, up to 2 years, she's murdi' throughout this whole time. But at the time when she has the child on her breast and she's breastfeeding then she is murdi'ah with a ta marbuta. So the ta marbuta shows iradatul fa'il. And without ta marbuta shows the quwwa, possibility and the ability. Is that clear? Yes? Yeah? Now let's apply to one Quranic verse. So what happens in the Quran? يَوْمَ تَرَوْنَهَا. So Allah saying Surah Al-Hajj that إِنَّ زَلْزَلَةَ السَّاعَةِ شَيْءٌ عَظِيمٌ. That the zalzala and the earthquake of the last hour is something very severe. تَذْهَلُ كُلُّ مُرْضِعَةٍ أَمَّا أَرْضَعَتْ. So now here, the word murdi' or murdi'a both means to breastfeed. But with ta is iradatul fa'il. This means what? The lady who's actually breastfeeding. So it's not that, so Allah is saying here that tazhal, dhuhul is to forget about something. So the matter of the sa'ah of the last day is so severe. It's not that it's an earthquake and the child is in the next room or somewhere else, and she runs away, she forgets about the child. But the actual child, she's murdi'ah. She's actually in the action of breastfeeding. And there, she will forget her child, even though it's on her body. So the murdi'ah here means in the actual act of breastfeeding. And in murdi', it is someone who is in the period of breastfeeding, whether the child is actually drinking or not. Does that make sense? Yes? And he gives another example. Look, the Prophet ﷺ says, لا يقبل الله صلاة حائض إلا بخمار. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not accept the salah of a ha'id without a khimar, without a scarf and covering. This is, you have the awrah. Yes, you have to cover the awrah in salah. Now, a ha'id and ha'idha. Who is the ha'id? And who is the ha'idha? Who prays salah? The ha'id or the ha'idha? Who is salah? The ha'id. One who has reached the age of puberty. Who is a potential of menstruating, meaning it's reached the age of puberty. And ha'idha is a lady actually in menstruation. She doesn't perform salah, she's excused from salah. So the Prophet said, لا يقبل الله صلاة حائض. Not ha'idha, because ha'idha doesn't have salah anyways. So it's ha'id, the one who has the quwwah, the potential, and who is in the period of from puberty to menopause. And it refers to anybody after any lady after puberty. Do you understand? So what he's saying in summary is that you have sifat which are makhsus bin nisa. Makhsus bin nisa. Correct? Now some of them can have two meanings. Right? And one of those two meanings is makhsus bin nisa. So let's say, for example, we have here qa'id and qa'ida. And then we have, what's another example we have? Hamil and hamila. And then we have some that is only for women in all cases, like murdi' and murdi'ah. So he's saying here, in this qa'id and qa'ida and hamil and hamila. In this qa'id and qa'ida, hamil and hamila, murdi' and murdi'ah. In this case, what happens? If it's like this, two separate meanings, the one without ta will show the makhsus bin nisa meaning, and the one with ta will show the general meaning. So qa'id, a lady who has reached menopause. Qa'ida, the one who's sitting. Hamil, the lady who's pregnant. Hamila, one who's lifting something. But those that don't have the element of a normal meaning, just a sifa makhsus bin nisa. The ta will show bil fa'il, and without ta will show bil quwwah. So murdi' is one who has the ability to, who is in a period of suckling, breastfeeding period, and murdi'ah is the one who's actually carrying out the action. Does that make sense? Is that clear? Okay. And then just at the end, he's mentioned one rule here. He says here, ذهب الكوفيون, that the Ahl Kufa, they've said that they haven't done this differentiation. They just said, if it's a sifa makhsus bin nisa, you can take out the ta, because you know automatically it's for a woman. So they haven't really mentioned the difference between murdi'ah and murdi'ah, and ha'id and ha'idha. Well, again, is that a generalization, or is that some Kufi scholars said it and the others never researched it and went deeper? But that's not really our focal point. He's saying here, don't say that. You might see it in some books. In some books, you would say here that what? Sukutu ta fihi kawni mimma la yusbihi mudhakkar. You can never say, he's saying that whenever there's a sifa, some people say, or some people from Kufa have said, that if the ta marbuta, if there's a sifa makhsus bin nisa, there's no ta on it because what? It's makhsus bin nisa. But he's saying here that's not true. You can have rajulun ashiq and imra'atun ashiq. So imra'atun ashiq and imra'atun ashiqa. And imra'atun ashiq, so he's saying that the word ashiq is both male and female. It's not only for male and female qualities. It can also apply to male qualities as well. But if you have imra'atun ashiq, what does this mean? This imra'a has the ability to love. And imra'atun ashiqa, this female is actually in love. And ashiq, the man, the adjective of the man doesn't have that, as far as I understand, that capability. So you have an adjective, it can be for men as well sometimes. And the mudhakkar and mu'annath, both forms are used for the female. And the faida is this. When you have imra'atun ashiq, it means bil quwwa, that woman has the ability to love. And imra'atun ashiqa is a woman who's actually in love. Understood? And you can hear rajulun hasir, imra'atun hasir, farasun damir, maharatun damira, etc. etc. Understood? Okay. سبحان الله وبحمده سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك.